Hi friends, it's Victor Costa, and welcome to the Daily Lift. I hope you're having an outstanding day, and I hope today's podcast makes it even better for you. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, everything that you want is on the other side of fear. George Adair is credited with stating that, but I'm sure you've seen it on every inspirational and self-help Instagram page or meme or every every chance that someone gets to write a self-help book. I'm sure you've heard that phrase. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And typically when we think of fear, we think of things like fear of heights, or fear of jumping out of an airplane, or fear of cliff diving, or fear of swimming with sharks. And usually this inspirational quote is accompanied by a skyline or a man jumping out of an airplane with his chute about to open, or somebody doing something really, really adventurous. And we typically think of fear in those terms. And if we were to just be able to do what the quotation says, and then accomplish what's in the picture, that we wouldn't be afraid of anything anymore, and everything that we want, our whatever it is, our gumption, our sense of self, would be accomplished if we'd have that if we were to just accomplish this task that we typically associate with fear. But I think that the fear that applies to most of us has nothing to do with jumping out of airplanes or cave exploring or swimming with sharks. The fears that most of us have on a minute-to-minute basis have very little to do with giant physical tasks of that sort. They're more along the lines of fear of social interactions, fear of maybe asking someone on a date, fear of telling your boss how you feel, fear of telling someone in your family that you're sorry or you love them, or fear of telling a friend the truth. Those are more of the types of fears that most of us experience on a day-to-day basis. I think that quote is often taken out of context, accompanied by someone soaring through the air with their chute about to open, intimating that if you were to just take on this task, you wouldn't be afraid of everything. Or be afraid of anything anymore if you could just accomplish this. In fact, I've even said that aloud. Boy, if I could just do that, I wouldn't be afraid of anything ever again. If I could climb Mount Everest, I wouldn't be afraid of social interactions anymore. Well, I don't think that makes sense at all. The likelihood of me climbing Mount Everest in the near future is very minimal. So the fear that I have to deal with right now is the fear of things like telling someone I'm sorry or telling someone I love them. So that's most of us, right? And so when the quote, we can't forget the first part of that quote, which is everything you want. And what is it that most people want? They want to be happy, and they want a sense of comfort. And when I say comfort, psychological comfort. They want a sense of ease, and they want a sense of flow. And to an extent, this quote is wonderful. It really is a terrific quote, but it probably, when it's memed, should have a picture of one person hugging another person, right? Or one person expressing themselves in a truthful way to another person, because that's what most of us want. We want to be heard, we want to be recognized, we want to feel good inside. And it's not going to come from accomplishing something like jumping out of a plane. Although, you could, really get a boost. I think that practically speaking, most of us just want to feel at ease and at peace on a day-to-day basis. So the truth is that quote is extremely true. But we have to think of it, when we hear it, let's think of it more in terms of the fears that we really have that are in front of us in our real lives, not a fear that sort of anyone would share, which is like swimming with a great white shark or jumping off of a cliff. So it's true. Everything we want is on the other side of fear. The thing that we're most fearful of, though, is that thing that is right in front of us, that we don't deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I'm here to tell you that I have recognized some of the fears in my life, socially, and mostly with interactions with other people, and taking on those fears by diving right into that social situation or doing it anyway and trying to be relaxed about it and trying to enjoy it. Yes, I have found that everything that I want is on the other side of fear in those terms. I want camaraderie, friendship, kinship, relationships, business dealings, and all the other great things that come along with overcoming a social fear. So when we hear that quote, let's not think about the cliff we have to jump off of or the airplane that we have to come out of. Let's think of what is it really that we're fearful of? What is it that's holding us back in our regular, everyday lives? Something that is really small if you were to identify it and put it on paper and to tell a friend, but something else that feels huge to you. And it is true that if you take that on and overcome that, you will find precisely what you want. So next time you see that quote, think of what it is that you're fearful of in your life specifically. Not a fear that we would all generally share, something that's specific to you. And if you can work on that or just take one step to overcome that, make that call to that friend, tell that person you love them, or tell your boss how you feel about your work conditions, or something of that sort, you will find that everything you want is right on the other side of that specific fear. I wish you all the best. I hope you have a wonderful day. Victor Costa signing off for the Daily Lift.